It's fall, y'all. Enjoy.
So as you know, we've had some fun of late heading over to Dade County, profiling the different places where you can stay and enjoy the beauty here in Trenton and Rising Fawn. But this one just might take the cake. This is Ryan Faircloth. He and his wife Melissa own a dandy spot here called the Groovy Nomad.
Yep.
There is so much to see at the Groovy Nomad Hotel that we had to have our conversation, Ryan, in your office, which is super cool, I must say.
Yeah.
I love the fact that at the Groovy Nomad, you have kind of kept history preserved and maybe kind of heightened it a little bit because each room is tastefully gauche. Is
Yes.
that a fair way to put it?
Yeah, bougie, ghost, however you want to say it.
So years ago, 1959, this motel was up and running, and then it fell into kind of abandon for a number of years. Is that right?
Yeah, the story that I was told was when the interstate come through, it shut down, and then they turned it into efficiency apartments, which I remember the apartments. It was kind of slummed out from my recall. And then it sat vacant for 13 years. And then Melissa and I kept driving by it every day, and I was like, I'm going to buy this place one day. I kept telling myself that. It took me 3 years to buy it. Guy wouldn't sell it to me. And almost to the date, on the third year, he just said yes.
He got sick of you.
I guess either that or he needed some money. I don't know. But he said, yeah, I'll sell it to you. And he gave me the price, wrote up the contract. We closed on it. I told my wife, you're not allowed to go in it until I get it cleaned out because it was trashed out big time. And I knew if she would have walked in it, then she was going to be like, oh my God, what'd you do?
It's hard to imagine that now because it is truly like Art Deco in living form now. So people come here, by the way, you're rented out through October of next year for weddings.
Yes.
People will host either their weddings here or at least let guests from out of town stay here. You can rent the whole thing.
Yep.
If you're in Chattanooga or the area and you want to just come here on a random Tuesday night, can they try to book a room?
Oh yeah. So all bookings, because we're so small, we don't have a staff person here because we're only 10 rooms. So all the bookings are done online at thegroovynomad.com. It shoots you a code. It's kind of like a multi-unit Airbnb. It shoots you the code. You go right in your room. There it is. It gives you the check-in instructions, check-out instructions. So it's all automated. But we're right down the road if anybody needs us.
It's one of those things where you come here and you think, wow, what visionaries they were to have all this in mind. It didn't really work that way. You and Melissa weren't quite sure what you were going to do with it.
Right. So we started with one room and replaced the roof, did one room. I had a cookout here. I hosted a potato bar cookout with all my real estate friends and family just to kind of give them an idea of what we were doing here. And I think some of them saw it and the rest of them thought we were crazy. You know, this will never work. And that kind of gets you second guessing yourself also. But we went through one, then was like, okay, let's do two. Let's do three, and then it just started rolling after that. And then, we actually had a guy come by and say, this ain't going to work here in Dade County. I'm like, yeah, well, it is now.
But it did.
It did, yeah.
So they have things like the Pac Man room. That one's super popular.
Yep.
You've got a legitimate jungle room
Yep.
with Elvis.
Jungle. Yep.
You were telling me that there's like a bureau in there, a bar in a way.
Yeah, so we put antiques in each room. We tried to incorporate antiques in each room.
Yeah.
From the period of the room to the theme of what we were doing. Like Cheetah room, we have some 1960, 1970 antiques. Elvis room, we have some older antiques. Like the piece I showed you was from 1940, 41, and it has the original sticker on the back.
Isn't that so cool?
But it's still a very nice piece.
Yeah.
And it fits the theme of the jungle room. So we did try to incorporate all that into each room.
You mentioned the cookout you had where your friends came. You still like to kind of keep that going. You like for Dade County to come and the surrounding area as well to kind of celebrate with you. So you've got a fun event coming up on November 9th. Yeah,
so Elvis, this is our second annual Elvis night. So we have an Elvis band. They call them ETAs, Elvis Tribute Artist. It's full band, Elvis. About 3-hour concert. We'll have a stage out front. It's free for the community. If you do rent a room, we will have something special for you in your room or in the courtyard later or before. But it is a free event for the community.
Much of what you have, you've kind of redone everything. You mentioned kind of the repair that it needed when you took it over, but the milk glass light fixtures are original to the time period. Is that right?
So from my understanding, the guy, there used to be a burger chef in Chattanooga. I believe it was on McCauley. From my understanding, not the first owner, but the second owner got those lights from that burger chef when they tore it down and then put them out here. So when we bought the motel, there were 6 lights. There was one missing. I had to do a Google lens and find another one. I got one out of Pennsylvania.
Amazing.
Shipped to me for $100, and they're pretty cool lights.
Do you have a favorite room?
I don't know. That's hard.
They're all a labor of love for you.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool. You got to come and see it. If you're planning a wedding, you may have to delay your wedding date just so you can make sure that you can book the whole motel since he's booked through the October of next year. But this is really great.
Yeah. We have a lot of people that book the entire motel for parties, birthdays. We had a chiropractic center book the entire place for their business, their group outing weekend.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
Well, they say on the sign, good vibes only.
Yeah.
And that's what you'll find when you come here. So thank you for opening the doors, plural, for us today.
Yeah.
We had
I'm
a great
glad you
time.
come down and see it. Yeah.
Ryan Faircloth and Melissa, you can find out more at the Groovy Nomad. There's their website and phone number, but it is best to handle everything online. They're very busy people around here in Dade County.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We're the insiders, and winning car cases is what we do.
Check out these big wins.
I injured my back in a car wreck, and they got me $135,000. How about you?
I broke my leg and they got me $450,000.